Hey you all, it's Leslie with LM Designs. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to see you guys again. If you are new here, welcome. We are so excited to have you also. In today's tutorial, we will be doing the Papermate Inkjoy gel pen to match our 32 ounce Hydro Fit. I called it something else in my tutorial and I am sorry. I'm sorry. It is a Hydro Fit from Steel Magnolia. The pen that I have today, I've already disassembled and sanded. I do have some more on the way, and when they get here, I will do a more detailed tutorial for you. And I will show you how to disassemble, take the clip off, all those things. So, but for today, we just have the shell. We'll start it with the shell, and I will do the process of my personalization, and then we'll assemble it. But I promise you, when more pens come in, I will show a more detailed tutorial for you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And I am spraying alcohol on my towel and just wiping my pen off. Then there is my mason jar of water. Upside down, silly. Okay, there we go. And I take aluminum foil and place it around my light and around my mason jar. I feel like that kind of reflects it off of the foils and helps it cure. Just something that I do to make me feel better. And then I will take my pen and UV resin, and I will put quite a bit of UV resin on the pen because there are like dimples and lines that it leaves if you just spray paint right onto the pen. Like if you spray paint directly onto the shell of the pen, you can see all of the dents and lines and things in it. So I kind of do it thick, and then I will sand it down and then spray paint on top of that. I don't sand too rough on that first coat of UV resin because I don't want to see the scratches, you know, on the paint when I apply it. So here I'm just putting it in one of my UV lights for 10 seconds. 10 more seconds. And then I will go to my water and do 10 seconds. And I think another 10 seconds and then 2 30 seconds. There may be 3 30 seconds. I get distracted while doing pens. When I push the 30 seconds, I'll walk off and sometimes get distracted. And sometimes it will stand there too long and the wood will swell, and it is very, very hard to get that pen off if you get it off. I know one of them we waited a week and finally got it out of the pen shell. But I get distracted watching YouTube, other artists, other tumbler makers, and I get lost. But today I tried to stay on track. I think I may have gotten lost once here. But the water method, whoever suggested that or showed the secret, you're awesome. You're a hero. This is like a lifesaver.
It's so quick, so easy. And I do use UV resin or the CCDIY resin from, it's Counterculture DIY. They have awesome resin, UV resin. They also have white and black resin now. I do have the white. I used it once on a keychain and absolutely loved it. They have awesome products. I do really like all of their products. Okay, so here I'm showing you that I don't have it right up on the end of it because some people do have trouble with it sticking and curing to their whatever they use to do their pens on, wood, pencils, straws, whatever they use. But the wood dowels that I have, I may have said this, I can't remember where I am in the video. With kids, you have to start and stop. But the wood dowels that I use usually stop at a certain point inside of the pen, and that helps a lot. And then I just kind of tap the top so it doesn't go into the top of it. You will get some in there, and you can just take your craft knife and trim that out. And you'll see that later on in the video. And then at the bottom, I just take my finger and swipe the UV resin straight down. I don't curve it. I just make sure I go straight out on the bottom of that pen. And then I didn't do any measurements on the pen. I just placed my tape, just eyeballed it wherever I thought it would look good. And I spray painted it with the spray paint that I used on the tumbler that I did in my last tutorial to match, so it would have matchy. I love matchy. So I just used the two colors that I used on the tumbler, and if you haven't seen that tutorial, you ought to check it out. It's pretty cute. And then I just peel my painter's tape off while the paint is still wet, because sometimes it will peel your paint off. And then I took Mod Podge and white acrylic paint from Apple Barrel. I think it is Snow White. And then the other paint that I'm mixing it with to try to match my glitter the best that I can is, let me check, hang on, I think it's Naples Yellow. And I mix that in with my white and my Mod Podge. That way I can apply my coat of glitter and also have that paint as my background instead of the black, so that it gives it, I guess I'm at a background, I guess. If you put glitter on something black, it's not going to show up that great. If you use kind of the same color of the glitter or white glitter, it always looks awesome. If any of that even makes sense. So I realized that was too dark, so I put more of the Snow White in it, the Apple Barrel paint, and then more Mod Podge, because I felt like I put more paint in it, that it wouldn't have the adhesion that it needed. Mix that in real good, and then you will apply your paint to your middle section of your pen, and then we'll apply your cream glitter. It's called Cream from Glamz, and that will be your first layer of glitter. I'll let that dry about 30-45 minutes, and then I came back with Mod Podge by itself and applied that to that first coat of glitter, and then did a second layer of glitter, And after I did the second layer of glitter, I covered, after I let it dry for about 30-45 minutes, I applied Mod Podge to that to give it, to kind of seal it in there. And then I noticed I had I had glitter on the green part of my paint that would not come off. So I epoxied over the whole pen, taped it off, repainted the green section, did more epoxy or UV resin, and went on to the next step. So I'll let you guys watch that right here as I do the second layer of glitter and then the seal of the Mod Podge and the sanding of all of that together. Okay, here I'm just taking my sanding block and sanding the whole pen, trying to get those 3 different sections somewhat smooth and on the same level. Spray it with alcohol, mop it off, and then I'm going to apply, couldn't think of a word. I'm going to apply my decal. So this decal was sassy. It was so sassy. So you'll see a little later on it did not work out for me. But here it wouldn't come off onto my transfer tape. So usually what I do is I will reverse weed. Well, it didn't really work out for me either. And then after I finally got it off, had all my trouble, as you see, there's trouble. It's not always easy. When I put it down on my pen, I realized I needed the sections to have their vinyl strips that I wanted on them, and then when I laid that down, it was too big. I didn't like it. So then I switched my sizing of my decal and the color, kind of vinyl that I used, and it worked. I just went along with that other vinyl. So here I will let you guys watch where I do all of that, and you can see that little decal right there. Decal. Causing a little bit of grief. But you'll have days like this. You can't give up. Don't stop. You will get frustrated. I'm not going to say don't get frustrated, but keep going. So we have put that coat of epoxy on all of our vinyl, and our final decision of what we wanted to do to our pen. So then I let it cure for about 10 seconds, and then I went ahead and put my other coat on, the final coat on, and smoothed it out really, really good. I think I held this in front of my heater, but you can't see it in the... No, I did not. I did not do that. I did not do that. So I just put it right under that UV light. Then I put it in the water. Let it cure. I did 10 seconds, and then I went to 30. And then I got it out, wiped it off, felt of it. I'm thinking I sanded it. Let's see. I had to feel of it, make sure. Yeah, I felt some humps, so I sanded it. Got it as smooth as I felt like it should be. I am not working that fast. I have it in super speed mode. Cleaned up my bottom, and when I clean my pens to get them ready, I will sand the bottom, get all of that excess UV resin out and off of it. I will do the same to the top, and then I will take my Q-tips and clean them out inside to get all of the paint that I may have sprayed in it off of it. Squirt that in a little medicine cup, dip my little Q-tip and wipe it out. Clean it really good. And then I take one of the straw cleaners. I keep meaning to put my phone on silent. I'm so sorry. I take one of the, like a straw cleaner, and clean out the insides of my pens. Push out anything that may be in there. You see some of the stuff fell out. You may not be able to see since I'm in super speed mode, but I clean it out again, and then I will do my final layer. Make this one kind of thin because you don't want your pen to be too thick. I feel like it's thick already, and I didn't want it any thicker if I could help it. So this is where I put it in front of my heater, and you can't see that, just to get the UV resin to flow. And then I kind of go back over it to make sure it's smooth. There were some little spots in it that I had to get off, and then I'll pop it into my UV light for 10 seconds. I thought I saw something, but I didn't. It was the light reflecting off of it. So excuse me, there is, I think I did that 2 or 3 times, and then I will pop it in my water. Yeah, here's where I got distracted by watching a video of another creator. I do that a lot. But my pen did not get stuck on my wood. It wasn't that long for it to get stuck. Wipe it off. And then we will assemble our pen, put it all back together. You put in the silver part and then the black part. And then your ink, and then your pen tip, or pen, tip, call it a tip. And then you click it a few times to make sure that everything works. Sometimes if it does not click and isn't working, it is because you have something in there, maybe a piece of UV resin you didn't see, or something holding it up. But usually if it doesn't click for me and I take it back apart, and I take my craft knife and just go back around it, it's fine the next time I put it back together.